Chapter 6, Heal and Mission 2. What the heck is happening? The wolf pup was completely shocked. He wasn't even aware of the situation. He was just staring at the texts that were seen on the screen that was only visible to him and no one else. What should I even do with this data? He asked himself. Just as he was thinking, another message popped up, and this time without any noise. Equals. Select a name. Equals. Oh, a name, he thought about it. My name is Shin. Yar, I'm Shin Adonis. Immediately after he said that, the name appeared on the screen from earlier. It seemed as if the place had a question mark because it hadn't been decided. With this observation, he confirmed that all other places that have question marks would get replaced when the appropriate value would match them. It's really shocking. Have I really been reincarnated? He asked himself the same question again. I am an animal right now, so my job is to hunt and eat. He said this after hearing his stomach growl since he hadn't eaten anything since long ago. Sigh, let me just drink some water. His abdomen was still in pain. He could hardly even bend his body properly in order to drink water, but somehow he managed to lick some of the water from the river using his tongue. I'm literally drinking it like a dog, he said. Damn, this fucking pain. Can't you just disappear? He asked when suddenly a system message popped up. Ding. Equals. New skill gained. Heal LV.1. A skill that would allow the user to heal most of the minor injuries. Time duration varies based on the amount of wound required to heal. Costs 0.5 minor point per minute. Equals. Heal. That's good, he said this after reading the texts. Okay then. Heal, he said in his mind immediately after which a green-colored light appeared and his wound started to heal. Oh my god. He was shocked because it was literally working. His pain was disappearing slowly and steadily, and he was feeling better as time passed. Soon he stopped using the heal skill because he started to feel weak too for some reason. His wounds had been healed, but the reason for weakness was unknown. He checked his stats again only to find that his mana point had almost been completely drained. Ofu *K. I should take a look at all these things, maybe that was why I felt some weird weakness, Shin said. He was now completely healed and didn't feel any pain that was being inflicted since earlier, but right now his stomach was grumbling. Basically, he was too hungry because of which he wanted to eat whatever came to his sight. Oh, I want food. Just as he had said that and walked a bit further, he felt a weird presence from the area ahead of him. The forest was too thick due to which it was completely dark, and because of that it was inconvenient to see anything clearly. It's weird, it's like the same feeling that O got back there, Shin said to himself. Ding dong. Equals. Mission 02. Hunt the swamp ruler fenders. Kill and eat the swamp ruler fenders. Compulsory. Failure will lead to appropriate punishments. Appropriate rewards will be given on completion. Chapter 7, The First Hunt. Equals. Fenders. Level 13. Rank C. Age 196 days. Health point 37/297. Mana point 11/89. An advanced forest lizard which hunts hobgoblins and other beasts of rank C and lower. Skills. 1 Poison Jaw LV.5. A furious bite which can inflict poison immediately. High poison resistant monsters will be unaffected. 2 Camouflage LV.4. Blends perfectly into the natural surroundings by changing its color. 3 Taunt LV.4. A monsters weaker than it will get provoked to attack it. 4 Regeneration LV.3. Regenerates the specific list parts of the body such as tail, limbs etc. 5 Thermodetection LV.6. Uses its tongue to detect heat around it at the range of 3 meters from its body. 6 Killer Slash LV.2. Uses its large tail to hit the foe. 7 Paralytic Vision LV.1. Paralyzes the foe for 30 seconds. Equals. The title Ruler of the Swamps enhances abilities and triples the attacking power and recovering of health point. Equals. The heck? It's too powerful. As I thought, I might literally die if I face it, was what Shin thought in his mind. He instinctively knew that it would have been the best to run away, but he was tired of doing that. He wanted to be the strongest predator, and to become strong he had a similar system too. It was up to him to utilize the system efficiently. He was thinking for a while when suddenly Fenders marched towards Shin with its mouth opened. It was as if it was using poison jaw. Shin immediately used the skill dash, due to which he was able to barely dodge the giant lizard. Fuck. First of all, I don't even know why such a ruler, and that too the one who belongs to swamp, is doing here, he thought. On top of that, it's attacking me mercilessly. Shin was aware that if he weren't able to dodge the lizard's attack, then he would most likely be dead. The lizard again rushed towards him while using the poison jaw. Fuck. You wanna knight me? Shin shouted and jumped on top of the lizard while dodging its attack. He then used the skill bite and pierced his small yet pointy fangs inside the lizard's skin. Squeak! The lizard squeaked at the top of its voice as if it was suffering from immense pain. Ding dong. Equals. You have used the skill bite. Damage done to the foe will be doubled for 10 seconds. Equals. He kept on biting the lizard, who seemed in pain. The lizard then used Killer Slash attack, by which its tail was swung with great force and was aimed towards its top part of the neck, as that was where Shin had bitten it and was still continuing to bite. Huh. Again the same move. Shin got to know the attack in advance, as he knew the pattern in which the attack would come. First the tail will be pulled to one side, and only after that will it be swung. Due to that he was able to evade the attack with ease. Bam! But regardless of that, the attack hit. Shin was completely safe, and the lizard, who was the almighty ruler of the swamps, seemed to be unconscious, as the attack literally hit its neck and broke most of its bones that were present around that area. Shin was already on the ground and was staring at the lizard, only to find that the lizard wasn't moving at all. Huh. What's wrong with the lizard? He asked himself. Then he took a look at its stat and got completely surprised by it. Equals. Health point 2/297. Equals. Holy shit. Its attack hit himself and dealt so much of damage, he was completely awed by what had happened. He walked a bit closer to it in order to check if it was just acting, but he found that it was literally unconscious. Wasn't this too easy? He asked himself. He was just staring at it when suddenly another notification popped up. Ding dong. Equals. Mission 2. Hunt the swamp ruler Fenders. Kill and eat the swamp ruler Fenders. Compulsory. A failure will lead to appropriate punishments. Appropriate rewards will be given on completion. Warning. Time limit 30 seconds. The mission will automatically start as soon as Fenders appears in front of you. Equals. He immediately looked at the time that was left and then took a look at what the conditions were. He not only had to kill it but also had to eat it. Only after that would the mission get cleared. Fuck, he immediately dashed and used the bite skill on it, due to which all of its health point finished and it died. And now the great problem was about eating. He was worried that he wouldn't be able to eat all of the lizard, so he didn't know what to do. He took a look at the timer and very little to no time was left. He was previously a human, so he was getting a weird feeling just by thinking about eating such a disgusting creature that lived in the swamps, but in order to survive he had to do that. Hyoar then immediately bite again, and this time pierced its neck even deeper and tore out some of its flesh and started eating and swallowed in one swoop. A message appeared which he had no time to check. Oh, the meat stuck in his throat, due to which he ran and drank the water that was available at the river. And while he was drinking and trying to prevent the choking, he got another message from the system. Ding dong. Equals. You have completed the mission, Hunt the Swamp Ruler Fenders. Rewards. You have received 10 stat points. Growth rate has increased by 10%. You have been bestowed the title Ruler of the Swamps. You have received the title Reptile Killer. Equals. Shin didn't check it for a while, and after drinking a sufficient amount of water he took a look at it. Cool, the rewards are definitely cool. He was about to get satisfied by this when suddenly many more notifications popped up. Equals. You have killed a high-ranking lizard. You have leveled up. You have leveled up. You have. Equals. Oh, now do I have to literally take a look at all the notifications, he asked himself. I don't know if this was due to luck or was fate, but I am certain that this was fun. Basically, this was my first hunt, my first prey, he thought. To be continued. Chapter 8, The First Evolution, Part 1, Selecting a Job. Huff huff, Shin was panting heavily after finishing the first hunt. He sat down for a moment and looked towards the body that was lying in front of him. There was a lot of blood flowing from the body, and some of the blood stains was on his body and mouth too. I still can't believe that I hunted a ruler. He was still doubting his success, but regardless of those things, he had hunted and now had something to eat. He was salivating heavily because his hunger had nowhere subsided. He wanted to eat the lizard right now. Previously he wasn't able to taste it and just swallowed it. Right now he somehow walked near it in order to take another bite. He immediately moved his jaw and took another bite from the body and ate it. Wow. This is really tasty, he smiled the moment he tasted it. Earlier he thought that it would be disgusting, but after having a bite from it, he couldn't stop salivating. The temptation of eating more increased, and it started eating each and every part of the lizard, and even before he knew it, he had finished everything. The only things that remained were its bones. Horror, that was satisfying. He sat at the same place and smirked. The hunger which he has until just now had now subsided, and his stomach was quite full. He drank a bit more water and stood there looking himself in the water. It really is weird, the young wolf pups in our world wouldn't even open their eyes or stand until they were 5 to 10 days old, and here I am hunting in this world. It was indeed remarkable. He couldn't even believe this happening, so he didn't care much right now. Okay, now what do I do next? He was wondering, as there was literally nothing else for him to do. It was not the old world where if he was employed he had to run to office, and if he were unemployed, he would run to find a job. He had to do a lot of bootlicking to boss, or even work overtimes. But there was nothing like this in the world. He could literally rest for an indefinite period of time, and be lazy as much as he wanted. So for some reason he liked this world, but at the same time he had many fears. Because he was a beast like others, not only would others monsters hunt him, but also the humans would not hesitate to kill him. Oh well, let's check the system a bit, was what he thought. Equals. Level, 05 maximum level, 05, evolve. Equals. While he was checking his own profile once, he could see a leveling stat which showed that it was already maxed out. It meant that the moment he reached the maximum level, no matter what happened he wouldn't level up anymore. Damn, that's bad. He was sad for a minute, and was a bit annoyed. If he couldn't level up them he wouldn't be able to hunt or protect himself. This time he was lucky since the lizard was not in its habitat, and it had been weak since earlier for some reason. Also, he had won because of the lizard's own attack where he almost played no role. After thinking all these things, the proudness which he has about hunting his first prey was broken into pieces. TSK, it feels like I'm useless and worthless, he said to himself while sitting near the bones of the lizard. He was about to go and check the next stat when suddenly he saw another button-like thing just near the leveling stat. What's that? He wondered. Can I click it? He asked himself in mind and then slowly moved his small paw towards it and pressed it. Ding. Equals. The process of evolution has started. Choose a job for the evolution to proceed. Healer. Sage. Necromancer. Berserker. Choose within the time limit, otherwise random job will be given. Time limit, 10 seconds. Equals. I need to choose one of them. He wasn't sure as what those jobs meant, and he didn't know what to choose either as it was asked all of a sudden. On top of that there was a time limit due to which he wasn't able to concentrate properly. What should I choose, he asked himself. It would be best if I choose Berserker since that will increase my power, he said. His decision wasn't wrong. Since he was quite weak right now, having the Berserker job might increase his strength by several times and he might be able to run away or fight in a better manner. But the greatest fault of that job was that the intelligence would become completely nil while using the power of Berserker, which he wasn't aware about. He literally would be like a tyrant who would attack any and all if he would be hungry. He could kill everyone who would even appear in front of him. Yes. Berserker is the best, he thought. All right. I choose. Just before he could complete saying about his choice, the time was up. Equals. The process of evolution has started. Dash choose a job for the evolution to proceed. Healer. Sage. Necromancer. Berserker. Dash since nothing was chosen before the time limit was over, a random job will be given to the host. Equals. Arc. Damn it, he was regretting the fact that he took too long to think. Even if he was a second faster, he could have chosen the Berserker job. I don't want the healer job, just give me anything other than the healer job. He started wishing for other jobs. He didn't want the healer job since he thought that having that job would only provide him healing abilities. In battle, healing ability would be practically useless as he would get killed in an instant even before healing himself. Anything other than healing, he kept on repeating this after tightly closing his eyes. He continued to pray and wish for some other job for around 5 minutes, after which a notification appeared. Ding dong. To be continued. Chapter 9, The First Evolution, Part 2, A Single Job and Dual Class. Ding dong. Equals. Specific job with dual class confirmed. Job, Ruler. Dual class. -1 Hunter. -2 Predator. Equals. Ho Shin was completely surprised when he read the notification. He didn't have any words to describe the feeling that was emerging from his body. He was initially given 4 jobs from which he had to select one, but unfortunately he failed to do so in the given amount of time. So he was bestowed a chance in which an automatic job would be chosen, but never in his wildest dreams could he had imagined that he would get something other than what was given earlier. What the heck is this? He couldn't believe his eyes at all. What's with this specific job and dual class, he asked himself. Ruler. Isn't the somewhat similar to the titles? He was indeed right. A while ago the ruler of the swamps had the title of a ruler in its name. So instead of that being a job, it would be better to call it a title. So it was indeed weird that he got something like that. Hold on a second, what's this ruler job exactly? He asked himself, but the system responded to it. Ding. Equals. Job, ruler. It is a specific job bestowed to only a few individuals. Dash allows the user to rule over anything and everything it desires. Condition. Dash, the host should be stronger than the being which should be ruled over. Rank. Equals. Thanks to the system, his doubts were somewhat cleared. He could now understand the job which he had got. I have to rule over others. Sounds interesting, he thought. For a moment he could imagine all the beasts in the world under him and he sitting on the throne. All those beasts were praising him and were saying, "All hail Shin. All hail the ruler." But his little to complete useless dream broke the moment a drop of water fell on his head. It seemed as if it had started to rain all of a sudden. Arg. That's bad. He immediately ran towards the nearest tree and took the shelter under it. Weird, it was sunny just a while ago, how did it start to rain so suddenly, he thought. But then again he was in a weird place where normal logic wasn't applied anyway, so he dropped the idea of needlessly worrying about such common things as rain. Right now he wanted to focus on the system message that was being shown. He somehow understood how the system worked and thought about testing it again. Okay system, tell me what the dual class is about, he asked. Ding. Equals. Dual class. Dash classes are the categories that determines the talent of individual. It builds the foundation and allows and makes opportunities that would allow the specific skills to grow. Dual class is the rarest of among rare occurrences in which two classes are given under a job. Equals. Shin was somewhat convinced by the details that was provided by the system for the time being. He understood what was written on it and read it at least twice. So you could say that I'm lucky, that was what he thought. He was lucky enough to be given another chance to survive, and thus this luck wasn't comparable to that in the first place. It appeared as if he had used up all his luck in reincarnating and getting the system as a cheat. Joe that he understood what the dual class meant, he wanted to particularly focus on the two classes which he had acquired. The class hunter and the class predator were almost the same. He wasn't able to spit any difference in them other than the spelling and pronunciation. Arg, I guess it might be some bug which just have the synonyms, was what he thought initially. But it was only later that he understood the importance of both the classes when he asked the system. System, tell me what this hunter class is that I've got, he asked quite politely. Ding. Equals. Class, hunter. Can hunt any monsters or beasts or being. A class which allows the popping up of normal, rare, super, epic, legendary, and unknown grade items when monsters or beasts are hunted. Provides 10% extra growth. The monster hunted cannot provide any skills when consumed. Equals. That's indeed good, items will pop up. He was excited when he read the info that was written. It was similar to the game system which he once played when he was young. It seemed that the hunter class was an amazing class, and thus it was without a doubt like a boost to him. But now the biggest question which he had was the difference between hunter and predator class, and to know that he had to check on the details of the predator class. System, display the details of the predator class, he said in his mind as he wanted to test if the system worked just by thinking, and it indeed did work. Ding. Equals. Class, predator. Can hunt only those monsters which are considered to be prey. Provides specific skills and stats on hunting or consuming the monsters or beasts. Intimidation increases by 10%. Equals. Shin was finally able to understand what the predator class was, and now that he looked at both the classes, a common small difference was visible in them. The hunter class would allow to hunt any beasts or monsters or beings, whereas the predator class would allow only to hunt those things which would be like prey in his eyes. Also, the addition of stats or popping up of items was another difference that could be seen in them. That's good. I feel like I'm some protagonist and this all is happening to me. It's fucking cool. He was overly excited and failed to notice the river which had started to overflow due to the excessive filling up of water. It was only when the water touched his pores that he felt the river's chill water and turned that way. Holy shit. I take it back. While saying this, he ran a bit far away while staring at the system when another message popped up. Ding. Equals. Second phase of evolution. Hunt 3. Equals. To be continued. Chapter 10, the second phase of the first evolution, part 1. Ding. Equals. Second phase of evolution. Hunt 3 Maru Skirrels 0/3. Eat 3 Maru Skirrels 0/3. Attain 1 class 2/1. Time limit, 3 hours. Warning. Failure of completion of second phase would lead to major changes in the process of evolution. Equals. He could clearly see the text in which one of the missions was already completed. I need to eat 3 Maru Skirrels, he asked himself. He didn't have any problem with that since he had already eaten a giant lizard. The mission didn't feel that tough when he just thought about but little did he know that it was one of the toughest missions that he could have faced. He paused near a tree which was quite far away from the river and was taking a look at the missions again when he spotted a squirrel on the tree that was just ahead of him. I didn't think about it. The squirrels usually preferred to remain in the tall trees on which he couldn't possibly climb, as he didn't have any such ability. That was the main problem that he was about to face. More than that, the squirrels would indeed come down the trees once a while, but right now it was raining, due to which there was 1 to 0% of chance that a squirrel would come down. Damn, even the nature is against me, he thought in his mind. It was not a wrong thought by any means, as it couldn't have been any worse timing when he got such quest. Now how do I climb the trees? That was the only question that lingered in his mind. TSK, now all he could do was grit his teeth and sit down on the ground that was wet due to the very few drops of rain that had been escaping the shelter of the trees and falling down. I should try to climb it, he thought for a moment about it, but it seemed quite impossible. He gave up on the idea the moment he looked at his paws that he had instead of humans' hands and legs. How bothersome, he was completely frustrated because all the trees surrounding him had the squirrels which he wanted to hunt. The white-colored text was continuously flying above their heads, and thus it seemed to be an easy hunt, but unfortunately his fortune kept face-slapping him again and again. But one thing was good, that he was given at least of 3 hours, and it was now here mentioned that the evolution would get suspended if the second phase wasn't able to get completed. Ark? What do I do? He kept wondering the whole time, and even before knowing it, 2 hours already passed by. The rain had also stopped, and the sky became a bit clear, so there was some hope that the squirrel would come down, but the hope was very less. He couldn't wait for that long because he had to hunt 3 squirrels, which wouldn't be easier by any means. Let's try. He couldn't sit anymore while doing nothing, so he thought about at least trying. He ran with all his might and jumped on the tree trunk and tried to climb it. Slip? Even before knowing it, the amount of height that was covered thanks to the jump was reduced to nothing as he just slid down because of the wet surface. Come on. What else do you expect me to do? He displayed his utter discomfort and displeasure. He couldn't find of another way by which he could reach the squirrels. He started glaring at them as if he really wanted to hunt them and eat them. And when he had completely fixated his gazes in the squirrel that was sitting right above him, a system notification popped up. Ding! Equals. Class Predator has been activated. The Maru squirrel has been confirmed as prey. All stats increased by 5. Senses sharpened. Intimidation increased by 10%. Equals. All of a sudden his eyes started to glow with bluish-green light. He himself was shocked when the view of the surrounding seemed somewhat different. What the heck? Everything was viewed as if it was painted by a blue layer, which was weird to him because it was the first time to happen. The squirrel has been identified as a prey. He read the system notification and then almost instantly looked at the squirrel. Holy shit. This can't be real. He was shocked when he saw the squirrel. His mouth started watering all of a sudden, and a large amount of saliva was being generated just by the glance of the squirrel. He started wagging his tail subconsciously without even realizing that he was somewhat behaving like a real wolf or dog. It was not his fault either, because the so-called squirrel that was in front of him was now looking like a chicken leg piece, which was his favorite food back on Earth. Am I hallucinating? He asked himself. It wasn't completely wrong, but it could be said that it was an effect of the predator class. I want to eat it, he shouted and ran with great velocity away from the tree. He wanted to create some distance, and after doing that he ran back with all his might. Since his agility was increased, his speed also increased sharply, due to which he covered the large distance within a few seconds. However, he mustered all the strength in his hind limbs after lifting his forelimbs and jumped as high as he could. This time, because his strength was more than before and so were his senses, the jump was twice the height when compared to before. I will eat it. I wonder if it will be juicy. Will it be crispy? Those were the only thoughts that were wandering in his mind. Almost there, a bit more, the distance between Shin and the squirrel was a matter of 1 meter that was left, but unfortunately that was as far as he could go. The squirrel too got alerted and was running away to the higher branch that was placed. No? Losing that will be as good as losing my life, was what Shin thought. For some reason it seemed as if he didn't want to compromise with the food. Where do you think you are going? He shouted with all his might. But he had now started to fall towards the ground. However, he didn't give up. He forced his paws to the trunk so that he would stay firm at that place, but unfortunately because he was too young, he didn't have any claws, and thus he started to slip. Arch! I won't give up. Chicken! Chicken, that's what he said. Then he suddenly looked towards the squirrel that was running away. It seemed as if his dream would remain a dream, and he was slowly falling when all of a sudden his wild instincts worked. Rare. He gave out a cute rare and growls immediately after, which he did something which was indeed good. Crunch. He bit the trunk with his small and almost no teeth, thanks to which his fall stopped, and he was now attached to one place without slipping any further down. Ding. Equals. You have used the skill bite. Dash dexterity of the jaws has been doubled. Dash power of the jaws has been doubled. Dash dexterity of the teeth has been doubled. Equals. To be continued. Please like, share and subscribe. Do comment for any recommendation.